Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing tonight? How are we doing? How are we doing? Hi, hi, hi. Welcome in, Chess Piece. Congratulations on getting first and kindling your flames. Sorry, I'm a little late. I was making a tier list template and adding everything took a little bit longer than I expected. To be quite honest, I thought it was going to take me like 30 minutes. It took me closer to 45 to add everything. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Maybe I did. We'll find out shortly. But first, what we're going to do, before we do the tier list, we're going to go ahead and do our replay for Steam instead. We'll do that first. Boom. We should probably transform that. Welcome in, Lana. Fit to screen. Well, that feels not right. Filters. I guess that works. It seems a little small. Don't really know why. Okay. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Yeah, so we're going to start off by going over the Steam's recap for the year. And then we'll do a tier list for all the games after that. Yeah, I don't know why this is capturing so weird. If I expand it, that seems to work a bit better. A little wide though. Something like that. Something like that. Okay. So our 2025 replay. 2025 replay. Is it going to make me big and small? Okay, no, we're fine now. Yeah, so I had it set up for it's set up for capturing YouTube and stuff like that. And I literally just threw the Steam thing on there. And so it was just sized differently than I normally have my YouTube browser stuff. This year we played a lot of new games and unlocked quite a few achievements. We played 55 games. 22 were new, 2 were demos, 2 were playtests. I'm guessing the playtest / demo is the different versions of Monster Hunter Wilds, because there was the 2 different alpha versions, but I could be wrong. There could be another playtest I'm forgetting about, but I think that was it. We unlocked 476 achievements, which is 389 more than last year. And that's over 35 games, 21 rare achievements. I don't know how many games have rare achievements. Let me know how the audio is with the background music. I think it looks fine. It looks fine. And this is the interesting one. You guys can't really see it. 52% played with keyboard and mouse, 48% with a controller. Now that's a stat that's going to be skewed because and you'll see this when we get to the tier list, there's a few games that I play exclusively with controller that are not included on here because I don't have them on Steam. But I am surprised to see that 52% of my play is keyboard and mouse. I generally favor controller in games, so that's interesting to see. It's interesting to see. And then my most played games for the year, Baldur's Gate 3 at 11%, Monster Hunter Wilds at 8%, and Subnautica at 5%. Which sounds crazy that Subnautica had 5% of my playtime when it was only 12 sessions. Yeah, Baldur's Gate, it's just a long game, right? I have like 110 hours or something like that in it, I think, on here. So, and then how we compared to the Steam community. We unlocked 476 achievements. Median is 11. Seems low. We played 55 games. Steam median is 4. That stat surprised me when I saw it. 4 games is the median. That's a game every 3 months, basically. Which sounds insane to me. Especially when you consider, like, I don't really play them much, but like there's a lot of free to play games. Probably more casuals on Steam nowadays. I mean, that's probably true. That's probably true. It just seems so crazy. And then the longest streak was 41 days. Median is 6. I was kind of surprised it was 41 days. My thought is maybe I think it's not represented on here, as we'll see, but I have a distinct feeling I was probably going on a decent streak, and then I played like Hollow Knight for 2 weeks, and so I wasn't on Steam, so it broke it. Or I played fucking like in October we played Resident Evil 0 and 1, which are on the PlayStation. So those are also not on here. So I think that's what broke it. I'd be curious if I could combine all my stats to know how many days out of the year I played. That would be interesting. New releases were 28%. Oh, well. Okay. Okay, I can hover. Okay, new releases 28%. 14% is spent by all Steam users. I'm really surprised to see new releases at 28% because I didn't really buy new games this year. So I think there's a few early year games that carry that, like Wilds and like Ender Magnolia and stuff. But most of what I played this year was old games. Recent favorites, playtime released in 1 to 7 years, 58%. And then classic games, 8 or more years ago. It's kind of interesting to see that the average Steam, 40% of Steam users generally are playing games from 8 or so years ago. But I guess that makes sense because what was it? The Steam hardware survey, even like this year, I think that was the first year the 1060 wasn't the top ranked thing. I think it was I think it got up to like this 1660 Ti. But you know what I didn't do? I didn't post that we were going live, huh? We could do that. We could post we're going live. I forgot to do that. Live with Steam 2025 recap. Okay. And then we'll throw it on Twitter too, before we get too deep in this. All right, sorry about that. But yeah, 40% sounds like a lot, but then I think about it and I think like what came out 8 years ago, and that's like what, 2015? No, 2017. So like Nier Automata falls in there. Like Nier Automata, it was 8 years ago. So anyone who's playing games from that like early PlayStation 4 era type stuff makes sense. Makes sense. What I play by the numbers. Okay, it looks like I venture into survival. Don't know what survival is. Or what hunting is, sorry, other than Monster Hunter. I think it's just Monster Hunter. Souls-likes, that makes sense. A lot of Souls-likes. Quite a bit turn-based. I'm surprised turn-based isn't capped out. It has a dip in Metroidvania. And that's strictly from Ender Lilies. Most of my Metroidvania stuff is done off of Steam. Both Hollow Knight and Silksong, which fall in that category, are Switch games for me. I bought them on Switch. Farming Sim, pretty much just Sunhaven, I think. And then Open World Survival Craft is Minecraft in Valheim and Subnautica and Below Zero. So yeah, I play my Metroidvanias. Because I like being able to take them handheld mode. Now, I don't really play Hollow Knight or Silksong handheld, but like in general, most of the time you'll find the categories I prefer to play handheld will be Metroidvanias and then strategy RPGs like your Fire Emblems, like when I pick up Final Fantasy Tactics, that remake, I'm going to pick that up on Switch too. I'm just going to. That's how I prefer to be able to just take them, sit on the couch, play a couple maps, lay in bed, play a couple maps. Like I take them as bite-sized experiences. But we added 6 new friends. We gifted 3 games. We earned 2 badges. Not sure for what. And we wrote 1 review. Now, I don't know what the fuck I wrote a review for this year. My only thought is maybe I wrote about how shitty the performance Monster Hunter Wilds was. Maybe that was it. Otherwise, I don't know what I would have written a review over. So Take a closer look at my top played games. We played Baldur's Gate 3. 11 total hour, or 11% of our total playtime, with a 9-day streak being the longest. We played 5% of that time in January. So clearly January is when I tried to play the game the first time. I think it was end of December last year into January of this year. But then we played a fuck ton, 95% of it in November. I haven't touched it at all this month. I have it installed on the Steam Deck now because in my mind I'm going to play it on Steam Deck, but I just haven't. I need to go back. I shouldn't be one of those quit at Act 3 people. I need to finish it. I need to beat it. With 18 achievements. And then this one surprised me. Monster Hunter Wilds was my second most played game. We played it in March when it came out. And then we've hopped in for, both of these were single days. I hopped in for one day in April and June. So I'm really surprised Wild sits up here as one of my actually most played games. We must have absolutely played the fuck out of it. And then Subnautica. I can take that. I can accept Subnautica as being a top game. I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed Subnautica. Tail end of June into most of July we did Subnautica. And then 5% of playtime was Neo Complete Edition. We spread that over a few months. Elden Ring Night Rain was only 5%. We played it over the course of 4 months, but it was only 5% of our playtime. Subnautica has a lot of things I gripe, but that's where I'm at with it. I bitch and I do that a lot though. I'll bitch and moan and complain about games. Usually when I do it the most though, it's games I'm enjoying a lot of other aspects for, and then I have things to gripe about because it could be done better. Because I enjoy so much other stuff about it. Otherwise I wouldn't complain. I would just drop the game, right? Playtime by month. Yeah, it's one of those, it's so close to, there's so many good things going for it that the bad stuff, and I don't even want to say bad stuff, a lot of times it's the inconvenient stuff or the annoying stuff really stands out. And so you mention it, you notice it, you can play it. For instance, Minecraft, perfect example. For 90% of the population, maybe 95% of the people who play that game are never going to care about moving while it's stopped in the inventory. But that's a big deal to me because I know it could be done because they do it in other games. And because you're in a survival world where you can get attacked whenever you're doing pretty much anything, it's kind of a glaring issue that you can't run away while menuing. So it's something I'm going to complain about, because it could be done a little bit better. Playtime by month. We did... Oh, I thought it was going to tell me hours here. It only tells me percent. 11% of that month was Ender Magnolia. And then I played 7 other games the rest of the month. It does kind of just give you your top game of the month, huh? This is less useful than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to give me hours. Unfortunate. You played on more than one device, yeah, because we have the Steam Deck. We do have the Steam Deck. We played 96% of the time on Windows and then only 4% of the time on Steam Deck. This is interesting because there are some games I played entirely on the Steam Deck. I did not play them on the PC. I entirely played through them on the Steam Deck, so it is interesting that it's only 4% of playtime. We played 51 games on Windows, and 8%. I mean, we'll get to them in this tier list. They're some of my favorite games of all time. I would argue they're not short games, but they're not long games. But it is interesting it's only 4%. See, it's interesting because it says these. I literally never opened Final Fantasy IV or Final Fantasy V on anything other than the Steam Deck. Jump King I've opened once on PC. Every other time I've opened it, I've been playing Jump King exclusively on the Steam Deck this year. I played Jump King in January for a couple hours. on the PC. After that, I've only played it on Steam Deck. So this I've also exclusively played on the Steam Deck because it's a visual novel. I've not played it on the PC this year. So this is just wrong. Because offline playtime not included. That's probably what did it. Yeah, that's probably what did it. But I think this is just the percentage of, so like 40% of my time on the Steam Deck was Final Fantasy IV. Must be what this is. That must be what that means. Star Ocean I tried to run. It does not run for shit on the Steam Deck. It was a shit show on the Steam Deck. 44% of my playtime was with a controller, which is different than what it said up top because it said 48 and 52%. So I'm not really sure how I'm only 44%. Down here, Steam, a little inconsistent. We spent the most time playing Wilds, Night Rain, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, Neo, and Ender Magnolia with the controller. That makes sense, probably due to the actual physical playtimes. I participated in the Wilds playtest. Said I participated in 2 playtests up top, so it must just count these as separate, but only counted as one game. Longest streak, August 18th to September 28th. And we played... Okay, so... Where was this? Dead Cells wasn't... Hold on, we gotta add that to the tier list. Dead Cells isn't on my tier list. I definitely played it though. Dead Cells. Save image. Dead Cells. And then add it. Making this tier list took way longer than I thought it was going to. I'm gonna be so real, and I still miss shit. Look at that. Crazy. Dark Souls 2, Tales of Symphonia, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls Remastered, Dead Cells, Ditsy Demons, Sekiro, No Time to Relax, Honey Pop, Scribblet, Sunhaven, and Holo Cure. It said show more. Did it actually show a single other thing? Oh, Exodate and Repo. There we go. All right. We're going to go by month now, what we played. In January, Ender Magnolia, Vermintide 2, Utawe Rei Ramonu, Prelude to the Fallen, Valheim. So we did play Valheim this year. I was not sure. I couldn't remember if we played any Valheim this year or it was all last year. Because we were the top 10% of streamers playing Valheim in 2024. So I was kind of hoping we at least touched it this year. Valheim will be back on the docket in, I think, February is kind of tentatively where I'm aiming to go back to Valheim for a bit. Lethal Company, Summer Pockets, Baldur's Gate 3, Pow World, Buckshot Roulette, Necopara Volume 3. That's a random one at 2% of the time. And then Dark Souls 3. Which, Dark Souls 3, we played January 1st because we did Drunk Souls 3 going into New Year's. That's the only reason that's even on there. February, Neo, Monster Hunter Wilds playtest. Final Fantasy 3. That was exclusively played on the Steam Deck. Prelude to the Fallen, Summer Pockets, Valheim, Vermintide, Monster Hunter Wilds, No Time to Relax got added there. Necopara, I still haven't opened my coconut figure. You should open your coconut figure. March was our least played games month, but it's because we played 82% in Monster Hunter Wilds. We played a fuck ton of Wilds that month. And then we also played Oh Dear with Koi and Anwa for the first time, which that game is so cute. We need to go and play more Oh Dear. It is so fun. It's just so not serious. It's such a just chill and talk shit with the friends kind of game. And then Pow World. The Game of the Year nominee and winner for 9 categories at TGA, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, was our April game. Looks like it went into May as well, but that was our game for April. We finished Neo that month as well. We dipped into Title Update 1, and then we played No Time to Relax, Coin Anwa again, and Oh Dear. May was just Night Rain, Expedition 33, and Monster Hunter. This was play with friends and play by myself. This was my month, man. This was I'm in RPG heaven. I'm playing Peak. I'm playing with Sabby and Bell and Oda. We're hunting stuff, and then I'm playing with Nugget and Kosa and stuff, and we're hunting stuff in Night Rain. Like, this was the Ash plays with people month, but also I'm gonna chill and do my own thing. It was such a disjointed month of gameplay. June, we started Subnautica. We fell into the Subnautica hole. We did our collab with Glow for A Way Out. We did the A Way Out collab with Glow, where we were having a good time. We were hanging out, and then she betrayed me and killed me. And I will never forgive her for that. She scarred me physically, mentally. I don't think I'm ever going to get over it. But, you know, we have to live. We have to continue our lives. Unfortunately, now, you know, now I've been murdered and betrayed, and it's unfortunate. We also did Final Fantasy IV and Valkyrie Elysium, which I have now dropped for the second time as of that stream. I tried playing it in like 2022, played it for 4 or 5 hours, didn't go back to it. Tried it this year, played for 4 or 5 hours, and never went back to it. I don't know what it is about that game, because I don't not enjoy that game. I play the game, I'm having an okay time with it, we're streaming, we're having fun, and then I just don't ever stream it again. It's the second time that's happened, so that may be I have to play it offline kind of game just to finish it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I don't seem to want to stream it. July, we finished off Subnautica and we started Below Zero. We have Night Rain played. We started Sunhaven. That was when we started Sunhaven. We also played Lethal Company, which that's the first time this is making an appearance this year, which is interesting because we played, oh no, okay, we played it in January. Okay, I was like, because we played a fuck ton of it. Well, I'll explain that. I'll explain that one in a second. Pilgrim, it's when we played Pilgrim with them as well. You'll see very clearly, oh, you can't actually see. Star Ocean, the Divine Force, is at sub 1%, and so is Disgaea PC. These are the exact inverses of each other. The Divine Force, I tried to play on my Steam Deck, and it ran like absolute butt cheeks. It was so bad. It was so stuttery. It was like super resolution upscaled to where it was super blurry and not great. It just wasn't playable. On the flip side, Disgaea PC, I tried to play on my PC, and the resolution makes the game so unbearably small that I can't see anything going on my monitor. I've since installed it on my Steam Deck. I've not played it on my Steam Deck yet, but yeah, because of my monitor, Disgaea is just practically unplayable because it can't go full screen or anything like that and blow it up. Welcome in, Glow. Thanks for killing your flames. We're going through our Steam 2025 recap. Ignore the clip. Don't you don't have to go find the clip. I played Disgaea 1 a long time ago. I skipped 2 and then I played 3 and 4. I think 2, I've not played 2 and I've not played 6. I've played 1. Yeah, I've played 1, 3, 4, 5. But it just wasn't playable on my monitor and stuff. So I need to go try it out on the Steam Deck, but I just haven't been in the mood for a tactics RPG. Okay. August was a good month. August we played a lot of games. Move that back over. Sunhaven, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy VI, Holo Cure, Final Fantasy V, Below Zero. Peak makes its way into the rankings. We finally played that. We played Night Rain. We played Lethal Company. We played Honey Pop Double Date. We did our Dead Cells single stream run that we beat Dead Cells in a single stream. Scribble It, we played with Onwin Koi. That was fun. It's like a Pictionary type thing. Ditsy Demons makes its way onto the list. We played the Exit 8, which was a fun stream. Loved that game. That was so much fun. We played No Time to Relax. We tried out Guilty as Sock, which was very confusing. Dark Souls makes its way on here. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure Dark Souls is only on here because I think I installed it. Did we run a mod for Dark Souls 1? I feel like we installed it. I turned it on to make sure the mod ran, but that was it. Because September is Soulstember. So we didn't actually play Dark Souls 1 in August, but I think I just installed something on it. And then Tales of Symphonia, less than 1%. I installed it on the Steam Deck, make sure it was up and running and working well on the Steam Deck, and then I just never went and actually played it. I do plan on playing that on the Steam Deck, I just haven't. I played it way back on the GameCube, so like, it's not like I haven't played Tales of Symphonia. Fantastic game. It's at less than 1% because I haven't actually played it this year. September, Dark Souls 2, Sekiro, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls Remastered, Elden Ring. We finally played Repo with Boogie, Nugget, and Glow. Not a fan. I know maybe I get flack for it. I'm not gonna, I don't really like Repo that much. Not a fan of Repo. And then Honey Pot makes its way again at less than 1%. I don't know what Honey Pop Double Date's doing on here. I think like I'm launching the game, playing a single puzzle, and then closing it because I'm bored. That's my only thought process, because I didn't actually play it like in any of these months. It's like 3% of the month, 1% of the month. So I clearly didn't actually play it. October. This is also a good month. A lot of firsts. So did the first time Dead by Daylight collab with Glow Boogie and Nugget for her Knight's Night. Had a lot of fun kind of learning Dead by Daylight. Shit, welcome to your 50 stream streak. That's crazy work. Take your extra embers. Holy shit. This is Glow month. This was the month we played games with Glow. So that's a perfect time to flex that. So we did Dead by Daylight with Glow. We did Escape the Backrooms with Glow. We did Man of Medan with Glow. We did Little Hope with Glow. And we did Phasmophobia with Glow. That said, we did also do Phasmo with Enki and Anwa. We did 2 Phasmo sessions. Games missing from this month you'll see on the tier list when we do the tier list shortly. Resident Evil 0 and Resident Evil 1 were both... I had them on my PS... I had them digital for PS4, so I just played them on the PS5, so I didn't rebuy them on Steam. Don't have them on Steam, so they're not on here for the Steam review, but they were on there. We played Resident Evil 0 through 4. November was Baldur's Gate. Glow snuck in with another collab with House of Ashes. We played Peak with Sabby and Bell, and then we also played it with Glow's Knights. We did a lot of peeking. Jump King makes its way back on the list because I've started playing it on the Steam Deck, which I don't know why I decided to start doing this. It'll just be like I'll have 10 minutes here. I'll just play Jump King for a few minutes. It's a bad idea. It's a rage game. I'm probably going to get really angry and throw my handheld console across the room at some point. It hasn't happened, but it's probably not a smart idea. I probably shouldn't be doing this, but you know. And then we also played, again, 1% of Ditsy. I think I just turn on my Steam Deck, go to launch a game. It takes too long to launch, so I close it. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening with some of these games. And then we played RV There Yet. And then so far in December, rip that it's just, well, it's like, so for anyone who doesn't have a Steam Deck, for whatever reason, after like an update or something, the Steam Deck will take an absolute fucking eternity to launch the very first game. And when I say that, I mean like, I tried to launch Jump King like a week ago because the Steam Deck had updated, and I waited like 12 minutes and that bitch literally never launched. And so I just shut it down and came back to it later. But once after an update, once a game launches for the first time, anything will launch like instantly. It's only that very first like launch attempt after an update. And then so far this month, all we've done is RV There Yet and Jump King. That doesn't sound right, but then it sounded dumb, sounded weird, but then I remembered, oh yeah, we've been playing things not on Steam. We've been playing Silksong, which I have on Switch too, and we've been playing Minecraft. None of that on Steam. And then Steam thanks you for being a part of the community. Looks like some people have shared. I didn't see this. This is the first year I've seen this show up, but it looks like they have recaps for 2022, 23, and 24. If you're wanting to do your Steam recap and go check it out for yourself, if you go all the way up to the top bar of Steam and you go to your name, it's at the very bottom under inventory. You can see your Steam replay for the year. So that's fun. We're not going to look at the other years outside of the first stat. I'm kind of curious how many games I played. I just want to see how many games. We did 26 games last year. For reference, we did 55 this year. In 2023, we did 22 games as well. Okay, that's consistent. Was I just too much of a gamer this year? How many did we play in 2022? 25 games. Okay. So I've mentioned it before. I made a really concerted effort this year to try to tackle my backlog of stuff and not buy a bunch of new games. And I think it shows right there. We played on average 30-ish more games, 33 some years, than 29 more than last year. Yeah, like we played a lot more games. That was fantastic. Let's close Steam now. And let's actually open up this beautiful thing here. Boom. We have made a tier list. Let's kind of resize this a little bit. So, blow it up a bit. We have lots of games. Lots of games. There are some games on here that were not on the Steam review, Steam replay. But we do need to decide what we want for tiers. Because I think I want to add another tier. How do I do that? Can I add another tier? Oh, okay. So we want to go and add a row below. And then yep, and make that fucking black. Can I change my font cover? What the hell? What do we want to? Okay, what do we want to do these? So we have S, A, B, C, D, and then didn't actually play this year. This will be for stuff that it showed up on the list because we launched it, but we didn't actually play it this year. That seems fair. S will be for Masterpiece. Or not. Okay, well. I was hoping it was going to let me, like, you know, be a regular person and type under it. A. Oh, you know what I can do? 9/10. 9 or a 10. A will be like a 7 or an 8. B is I played it. B's like middle of the road. It's like it was good. It was a good game, right? To be clear, this is going to be F. Sucked ass. Okay. We don't do a D tier. Yeah, B is like I played it. I had a decent time with it, but it wasn't like B is like 3 to 6 zone where it's like there was enough issues that that I got annoyed here and there, but I don't regret the time I spent for other reasons. C is why did I play this? And that's one of the ones where it's like we played through it, but it had more issues than good things going for it, to where like I'm a little confused on why I actually finished it. There are some games I'm going to rank that I have not beaten, but for the most part, the vast majority of this list are games I've completed. There are a couple that, like Valheim is a good example. I have over 100 hours in it, but I technically never beat Valheim. I'm still gonna rate Valheim, right? We're not gonna cop out and be like, I didn't actually play it. Even though I didn't really play it much this year, but it was a continual playthrough. Okay. Start of the year. These are outside of the stuff I had to add for the Switch or stuff not on Steam. These are in order, pretty much. Enter Magnolia. Metroidvania we played at the very start of the year. I think it's an A. I think Enter Magnolia is an A. It had a lot of stuff that thinks, oh shit, I didn't add them. Ha. I remember. Thank you, chat. Thank you for totally reminding me that I needed to add Hollow Knight. That's totally how you spell Silksong. Cool. Cool. I was like, I know I did this whole thing and I was like, I know I'm forgetting stuff. No, Silksong's not on Steam. I did Hollow Knight and Hollow Knight Silksong are Metroidvanias, so I play them on Switch. Yes. They're Switch games for me. Anyways, Enter Magnolia, fantastic game. Boss fights are really good. The exploration is really good. They clearly took inspiration from Hollow Knight when they made Ender Lilies, and they continued it here. It does have more ability-based stuff. I think it's actually closer to Silksong than actual Hollow Knight with stuff now that that's out, but it's really good. Its lore is a little bit more convoluted. It's a little bit more in the background like a Souls game would be with item description and stuff, but it's really good Metroidvania. It was a lot of fun. We did our first 24-hour stream of the year in January. We did for Ender Magnolia. We played all of it in one sitting, and we got all the endings and I think all the achievements. Vermintide 2. I'm gonna put this. Ooh, I'm really torn here. I'm gonna put it in an A because no, I gotta put it in a B. That's when I realized I was kind of insane. Why, thank you for that. I don't know why you think I'm insane for doing a long stream, but so here's the thing. I think gameplay loop time, and especially when I got to play with Bippo, I think Vermintide 2 is really good. But I couldn't actually beat everything in Vermintide 2 because the game kept crashing. Because there's a couple levels that have known crashes as of the patches that I was playing. And as of, I looked into it about 2 months ago now. I want to say like end of October, because I was debating putting it on the November games list again. Those are still not playable. So it's been, we played this in January and it's now December and I still technically can't beat those. I think it's 2 levels because they just crash. So I have to put it in B because I can't finish it, but I think gameplay loop wise, it's like a 7. But because of bugs preventing me from keep playing it, I got to move it down to like a 6.5. I'm really excited to play Space Marines 2 whenever Caspian finally starts streaming and has a PC to do that. I really want to play Space Marines 2 with him. Warhammer was fun. We got a lot of people coming in and telling us different Warhammer lore, so that was a really cool part of the year. But I think just because game bugs themselves are why I couldn't finish it, I have to knock it down. Utawa Rei Ramono, Prelude to the Fall. This is one we did not finish. We started it in January and then didn't play it again until like August. And then we tried it again and then we dropped it because I'm going to be honest, I love Mask of Truth. I love Mask of Deception, which are 2 other games in the series. I was having a good time with this. I don't think, for my stream at least, I don't think visual novels and tactic games do very well. People just don't really want to hang around and watch them, and I get it. It's a lot of reading, a lot of talking, and so I just stopped streaming it. I still think It's a solid B for what I played, though. Mask of Truth and Deception are S's for me, so there's a good chance that when I actually play through all of this, it'll get moved up to an S, because the other two games are legitimately some of my favorite visual novels I've ever played. They're phenomenal games because they take the visual novel storytelling, they take that Final Fantasy Tactics gameplay, but they also add the Legend of Dragoon Edition system into the tactics. So you do your tactical gameplay, but then when you go to do your attacks, you do the edition system. So they just have everything I love going for them right there. But for now, it's gonna be in a B. If I'm gonna watch something like that, I want to be in the driver's seat. Kind of want to. Yeah, it is. I think it's one of those things where like the first stream does really well, and even the first VOD did relatively well for when I posted it. But by the third, fourth, like people miss stuff, people fall off. It happens with RPGs too. The same thing happened with, at the time, even Expedition 33. Like the first couple streams of that game did very well, but the later ones did significantly worse. That said, the game was so fucking good I couldn't put it down, right? So like, didn't matter. I wasn't in it for the stream content, but with something like, because at the time, this we played, it showed up in January. That's not when we played it, though. We played it later in the year. It was at the same time we played Subnautica, and the Subnautica streams were kind of popping off and busy, and it was having a good time talking to people in Subnautica. And then you'd go and do a stream of this, and it'd be, just be kind of a dead chat while I'm just reading for 30 minutes at a time before combat encounters, and so it didn't translate well to stream, unfortunately. Probably a fantastic game in its own right, though. Valheim. Ooh, we just put it down here and sucked at. No. What do we think? I'm really torn here because the game has a lot of stuff that I dislike. It has a lot of stuff I dislike. But I think I'm really tempted to put it in S. Here's the thing. I've not gone back and tested the combat for the new combat updates. I think up through the plains for me is probably an S. I think the Mistlands is an F. Do I feel confident enough to split that difference at a B? I don't think so. I think I'm gonna give it an A. I think Valheim's like a 7 out of 10. I think it's closer to like an 8.5 if I'm being honest, until the Mistlands, and then at the Mistlands it's like a 4 for me. So if A fills out, we're gonna put Valheim like the very bottom of A probably as we go. It's definitely not Ender Magnolia territory for me, but it's a really good game. Next, this is a hard one because the reality is Lethal Company's not a very good game. But like on its own, Lethal Company's not actually a very good game. But the content times playing it with friends, the amount of people who can play it, those are all like S tier experiences. And I think for me, we may move it, but it is the closest. Why did I have a timer set? Oh, bald. Ha, I get hair back. I was like, why did I have a timer? I think it's a B, realistically. But I'm putting it in S for now. We'll see as we go if I feel like changing it. But it's one of my favorite games I played all year, many times. We played it with Glow and Boogie and Nugget a couple times, but we played it back when Staria was streaming. We've played it with Boogie and Bippo and even Melty, and we played a lot of it with Sabby and Bell. Like it's probably my biggest collab game of the year. I really like Lethal Company. But the reality is it's like a C tier game, if we're being honest. Like, but the fun I have playing with people in it kind of bumps it for me. It does. Summer Pockets. I played it. Again, it's another visual novel. Streams don't do super well with it. And we got a bad ending. So I think it's like Repo, but different. Yeah, but I don't like Repo. You're gonna I think I'm gonna make some people mad when I get to Repo. Summer Pockets it's a B. I think if you play all routes, it's probably an S. It's by Key Studios, same people who did oh my god, Clanad After Story. Like, it's that studio. Super emotional, hard-hitting stuff. That said, we played it on stream. We got a bad ending, so we only put like 10 hours into the game. Nothing super emotional happened in there. We didn't romance any particular girl, so we didn't get that kind of storyline. So I'm putting it in. I played it. I think if I were to play it off stream, I'll probably rate it higher. Just like I was talking about Uta. Isaac, the anime just came out. Summer Pocket. So we played this, and then after I finished it, instead of going and doing the other stories, I just waited for the anime to drop. I never watched the anime, but because I'm a fake anime fan, I haven't watched anime all fucking year. Crunchyroll sent out a thing. Crunchyroll just sent their recap, and I was like so concerned to see what I got on it, because I was like, man, I don't feel like I've watched anime in so long. And I looked, it was like, you watched 122 hours this year. I was like, okay. Clearly I watched anime, but like, if you think about that reasonably, like, that's like 5 minutes a day or something like that, right? Like, it not actually that low. It's like 10 minutes a day. I didn't watch much anime this year, even though 122 hours sounds like a lot. Listen, some people watch reality shows. Yeah. Glow, I had 1 year where I had more hours watched than days. So, I mean, like, 122 is low for me, but it's like, I don't know. It translates here. You just saw in the recap, I played 30 more games this year on average. I played 55 instead of 22 or 25 for the previous years. I think I played way more games. I streamed a lot more too. We said what? We streamed 283 times this year. So, like, I've just had other stuff going on, and sadly, anime has been the thing that's been pushed to the wayside. It's up here next, but we're gonna wait on Baldur's Gate because we didn't actually really play it until November. I played it a little bit in January, but we didn't actually play it till November. Pal World. Why did I play this? I played this because Koyanon wanted to play it. I don't have enough of opinion on the solo experience to know how good the game is. They keep changing it because they're in constant lawsuits with Nintendo. So it's one of those things that it's like, I can't put didn't actually play it this year because I did play it. I think I put, hold on, we can see. I think I put like 15 hours into Pal World. What do I have Sunhaven typed up? Incomplete. Pal World. P. Where the fuck is Pal World at? Do I have it non-ending instead? Where the fuck is Pal World? Collab games? Did I actually take it out of any? I did. It's only in my collab games. I played 14.2. So I did play it. I can't say I didn't play it. I just didn't play it enough to form a good opinion on it. I had fun, but like not enough fun to play it on my own, if that makes sense. If I had, because the thing is, I was playing it with Koi and Anwa, and getting those two together at a time that functions for everyone is like wrangling cattle, so we just didn't really play much of it. Neo. It's A tier. It's not as good as Neo 2. Neo 2 is significantly better. We didn't play Neo 2 this year. We played Neo 1. It's a solid game. It's an 8 out of 10. Really enjoy Neo 1. Do you like Ninja Gaiden? It's closer to Ninja Gaiden than it is a Souls game for the combat. But it's like Ninja Gaiden mixed with Souls. It's by Team Ninja. It's really good, actually. Neo 3 is coming out soon. I would highly recommend trying the demo for that, playing Neo 3. You can skip Neo 1. If I'm being honest, just play, if you want to get into it right now, just go pick up Neo 2. It's a 10 out of 10 game. Neo 2 is phenomenal. Tenchu's your ninja game? Yeah. Tenchu's phenomenal. Fun fact, FromSoft made a few of the Tenchu games. So, just saying, maybe you played a Souls-like without realizing it. Anyways, Monster Hunter Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, chat, this is an important question. This is an important question for you guys. Do you guys rate a game on the front half of the game, the back half of the game, or the entire experience? Because here's the thing. I think playing through the story mode of Monster Hunter Wilds is probably like, gameplay wise, here's the thing, Glow. Here's the thing. It's a live service game at the end game, right? So like you play through the game, but then you wait like 3 to 6 months for new monsters and stuff and new gear to be added to go play. So here's the thing, playing through the initial start, good time, fantastic. How they handled the live service endgame in Wilds compared to Worlds and Rise and all the others that came before it, terrible, dog shit, garbage. They did a horrible job with it. Also, the performance is quite literally dog shit on most people's systems. The performance is so abysmal. We just barely scraped by. Like when we were streaming it at like 30 FPS most of the time. It's pretty bad. If it's live service, I'd rate it on quality of the service overall. Yeah. I think, dude, it kills me. It kills me so much to do this. I think it's a B. Yeah. I think it's a B. To be fair, I haven't gone back since Title Update 2. Title Update 4 came out, what is today? 17. It came out yesterday. So we're going back to it in a few weeks. First week of January, we're going to go do Title Update. We're going to play 2, 3, and 4. So we'll see if it's improved. But as of now, like, I feel so bad saying it because I love Gemma. I love Alma. I love what they did with the aesthetics. I like a lot of the monsters. I like the open world map. But like how they handled the event quests and getting all your endgame stuff and grinding up stuff and doing the like weapon enchants at the end and the deco farming is just so much worse than what they've done in the past. It's just so much worse than Worlds, and especially than Rise. Rise was so good with it. Final Fantasy 3 sucked ass. Don't like Final Fantasy 3. It's the only Final Fantasy game that I can say with my full chest, I just don't like it. I just do not like Final Fantasy 3. It should be, yeah, proper Japanese 3. Yeah. Pixel Remaster 3 specifically was the one I played. Technically, it's in why that I play this. I played it because it was on my backlog and I wanted to get it off of my backlog on Steam. But it sucked ass. I don't like Final Fantasy 3. It is the worst version of the job system that I've found in any game ever. Every other version is better. Again, it's the first one to do it, so like credit where credit's due, but in the big old 2025, it's a dog shit game. The overworld is terrible because it's split into multiple different itty bitty overworlds with how they did it. You constantly have to use different abilities to change your sizing and your shape to get through different areas and holes. But the problem is, because it still uses spell levels, like by the time you get to places to do that, You go in and it'll be like, oh, you need to use mini to get in this area. Okay, you use mini. You had 4 party members. You only had 2 uses, so you had to kill a couple of your party members just to do it. You go through this thing. You don't have enough to turn them back big. No one sells the item to do it until after that area. Like, there's just a bunch of little shit that is so annoying in Final Fantasy 3. And the combat's not even good. It's the worst combat they've had. It's the worst job system they've had. I don't recommend it. Like, 2 out of 10, stay away if you can. And I feel bad saying that because that's probably how most people feel about Final Fantasy 2, but I think Final Fantasy 2 is phenomenal. So, oh dear. Ooh. Here's the thing. I think this game is jank as fuck. I think the premise is so silly and short-sighted that it doesn't really have much going for it. But I think what it does, it executes it really well. There's no way this is a 9 or a 10. I'm coping, clearly. But I think it's like... It's one of those games where it's like, when you're playing it, it's just fun. It's just a good game. It's... Again, just like Lethal, I'm probably going to move this if I get some real heavy hitters up in here. But as of right now, we're going to put Oh Dear up in S tier. Oh yeah, a heavy hitter showed up. Expedition 33. Boom. S tier. Need we say more? Do we have to say more about Expedition 33? The combat, the storyline, the way they tackled like old school overworld, the like everything. People are talking so much shit about it being game of the year, but frankly, it might be game of the decade so far for me. I'd have to go back and look. There are some heavy hitters this decade so far for me, but it might be the best game I've played in the last 5 years. I'd really have to think on it, but it's up there. It's absolutely up there. It's so good. Like when I hit the actual world map, you literally put it down and it's like that first time you exit Midgar, right? Like I think it's really hard to explain to people who didn't grow up with proper like traditional overworld maps that because that's the thing is like Final Fantasy like 1 through 6 you had the traditional overworld where it was like, you know, open world's a bad word to say, but it has this overworld, and then you get into Final Fantasy 7 and they throw you into this 3D world with all these hallways and environments, and you don't get that, right? You don't get that traditional overworld you're used to having in those earlier games. So then when you leave Midgar in Final Fantasy 7 and you realize that there is actually this expansive overworld in this game too you're going to get to access, it is just so good. It's so good, and I feel like Expedition 33 did that. It pulled that off. Sandfall gave me I was gonna ask why the nostalgia. It does so much for the nostalgia. Like first it's turn-based combat, right? Okay. But here's the thing. You have turn-based combat, but you also have like the Paper Mario / Super Mario RPG counter system built in. You have the Legend of Dragoons Edition system built in. You have the Persona, which we've had since PS1 / PS2 with Persona 2, 3, 4. You have its kind of like push turn system where you can get an extra turn by doing stuff. It literally throws references to a bunch of old JRPGs in there. It does so many things subtly to hit on nostalgia while still giving you a cohesive, fun gameplay package that still feels fresh because it combines them in a way that hasn't been done before, like cohesively, to where you're like, oh, it yanked that, like the what is it, the Lumina system or whatever? That's literally just your equip system from Final Fantasy 9, like 100%. But how they do it with very specified ways of making you equip stuff, and they all have different like stats you can kind of mix and match. Like they yanked that 100%. yanked that straight out of Final Fantasy IX, but then they kind of did the YouTuber thing where you take the idea and then you twist the idea to be your own. That's what they did there, you know. But they did it with fucking everything. The whole game is a yoink and twist. I wonder how I'll feel. I think so. The thing is, you're a lore head, Glow. So I think, assuming you've not been spoiled too much on things, I think you'll really enjoy it. There's a lot of lore in the world. I feel like telling you about why there's so much lore kind of ruins, like, it ruins an early game reveal, so I don't want to spoil you on that. I would rather, you know, but there is, we'll just say there's stuff left around the world from other people that is all lore based, and it all ties in. It's a lot of really cool and deep stuff, but it definitely, to actually reveal anything, it spoils the like first major plot point. So I watched Shy Lily for a bit. Oh man, I haven't watched Lily in so long. I love Lily. She's so fun. No Time to Relax. Sucked ass. I hate this game. This is a game I played with Koi and Anwa in them. I fucking hate this game. This is one of the least fun games I played all year. Koi loves it. I feel bad throwing it down here and kicking it like, you know, like someone just like threw a frisbee out in the yard, the dog jumped out at it and it got hit by a truck. Like, I feel bad, but that's this game to me. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to see it. I do not like this game. Can't stress enough how much I don't like this game. Elden Ring Night Rain. I think it's a low A, like a little bit over Valheim, but it's a good game for what it is, but it is an asset flip in a lot of ways. It doesn't really do the Souls or Elden Ring formula. It's very much its own thing. That said, it's a fun time with friends. Like when Nugget hopped in and played, and when Kosa hopped in and played, like I had a great time with it. That was a lot of fun. But it is no Elden Ring. It is no Dark Souls. Like it's like a 7.5. All right, Subnautica. I think that's your game. I think no, you're not getting above Expedition 33. I think Subnautica is an S tier game. I think it's like a 9. I don't think it's a 9.5. I think it's a low S for me. I do think it's an S though. For the most part, the only thing that bothers me about Subnautica is, in all likelihood, just super unoptimized for color blindness. To where, like, I was having a really great time. There was a bunch of like Metroidvanias type breaks where like I didn't ever use the prawn, right? You know, you're supposed to do that. You can kind of do break skips and that's fun. But the biggest problem is I just couldn't see a lot of the things in Subnautica, and I don't want to fault the game for that. I think it's like an A experience for me because I couldn't see some of those things, but I think the game itself on the whole is like a 9 out of 10. I think my biggest complaints are just stuff that I couldn't see very well. Really fun. I think I went in kind of skeptic because Valheim was kind of my main survival craft game, and Subnautica is very different than Valheim. It's not even remotely the kind of like the same style of game while still being survival craft. But I had a good time with it. We'll get into the other one shortly and how I didn't have a great time with that one. A Way Out. I played it. I think we'll put Wilds there. Put that down there. Yeah. Welcome in, Anna. Hope you're having a good Monday. Is it Monday, chat? That doesn't sound right. What is it? Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Holy shit. Okay. No, so Glow, you may need to go look through the clips earlier. We already talked about this game for a minute. I think A Way Out had a good story. It had good pacing, good timing. I got betrayed though. And because I got betrayed and murdered and I lost all faith in hope in the queen, I can't really put it any higher than a B. That said, there are a couple other reasons I wouldn't put it in A or let alone S tier. One, the controls are really goofy. I'll have this complaint with a lot of the co-op experiences you have coming in here. Does not control, like the movement itself, not the greatest. The gunplay came out of fucking nowhere in the last hour of the game. They just introduced it and then made the whole kind of twist reveal thing going on at the end, completely reliant on how good you got at learning that gunplay that you used for one other scene the whole game. So it has things that keep it from kind of like the upper echelons of hitting greatness. That said, I had already played other games like Until Dawn, and I played some of the I can't even think of the name of it, the robot in the city one, Detroit Become Human. I know that's a stupid explanation. Of those kind of like choice-based doing stuff games, like to where A Way Out wasn't really novel in the same way, but it was a fun time. We had a good time with it, but I think it's a B. I think it's like a 6.5 out of 10, probably. Final Fantasy IV. I want to be very clear. And I don't want anyone to feel bad about rating this higher, but Final Fantasy IV is a B. It's a high B. Welcome in, Boogie. I hope you're having a good... Why can't I move Irvintide down? I hope you're having a good Wednesday. We went over our Steam 2025 recap. Now we're ranking all the games we played this year. I think out of the traditional games I have on this list, outside of 3, because I think 3, as I said, I think 3 sucks ass. 4 has the least going for it. And I hate to say it because Rydia is one of my favorite characters. I love Rydia. I think she's fantastic. I don't like Cecil. I don't like Kain. Rosa's forgettable. Sid is one of his worst versions in this game. The twins are awesome, but they've been done better in other games Square's done. Like, they reintroduced the twins in Infinite on Discovery. They're way better in that game. Like, 4 is good, but it's just not the upper echelons of Final Fantasy, and I feel bad because I know for a lot of people it's their favorite. A lot of people, they love it. It's their absolute favorite game, and for me, 4 just isn't it. Valkyrie Elysium. Why did I play this? We talked about this a little bit ago. I've dropped it twice on stream now. I want to like it. I enjoy the gameplay. I enjoy the story, the lore, but it just, I don't know. I'll play it for one stream and then I won't boot it up for a year. Don't know why. So we're going to say I played it, or why did I play this? Because I don't actually know. Sunhaven. Ooh. All right, here's the thing. I think Sunhaven is like a top tier A. I think it's like an 8. Sunhaven's really good. For anyone who's not played it, it's basically dark fantasy Stardew Valley, with more magic and dragons and stuff like that. I really like it. I think it's really good. But a lot of the cosmetic stuff is locked behind like microtransactions DLC. So I can't really put it up in S tier. I can't believe I played Stardew first after hearing that description. I've not played Stardew. That's how I hear it described. To be clear, I've only played Sunhaven out of those games. I played a little bit of Field of Mystria too. And then what was it, like Disney Dreamlight Valley or whatever? I watched Vi play for a while. Like, but Sunhaven's good. It's a nice little farming sim. I like it way more. The farming stuff I like way more than Harvestella's farming. It's a lot more in depth. I like the world, the characters. It's very cute. I think I would put it up in like low S tier if it weren't for the fact that a lot of the really fun cosmetic stuff is locked behind a paywall, and I don't want to pay for that. I already paid for the game. Below Zero. I played it. I hate to do it. Subnautica is an S. I think Below Zero is not. I think Below Zero is skinwalking Subnautica. I had a lot of fun playing. It's the weirdest thing because I had a lot of fun playing Below Zero, but I think it's because I loved Subnautica so much. I really enjoyed Subnautica, and so I played Below Zero, and there's just so many things that, my colorblindness come into play here again, because I was still having issues seeing the differences in like the rock colors and stuff, but now they went and just changed the names of stuff for no reason. They, like, you're on the same planet, but they went and they changed the names of basically the same looking rocks a lot of the times to something else, so then I had to relearn another set of the same looking rocks. They removed like what 90% of the lore descriptions on items and stuff. Like they went from giving you like you'd find something in Subnautica 1 and it would give you this half a paragraph description about, you know, what it came from or the habitat the creature did, and then like you'd find the same item in Below Zero and it would be like say it was like the tooth of one of the fish. It'd like tell you the fish and what they ate and how the tooth probably broke off, but then in Below Zero they were just like, it's the tooth of this fish, right? And that was it. That was just, you know, they just did away with a lot of the exposition. I feel like that killed a lot of the lore for me, which is crazy to say because I ignored most of the lore in Subnautica. I ignored's a strong word. I just absorbed it as I played the game. I didn't go searching for it, if that makes sense. In Below Zero, I felt like I had to search for the lore and the story because it was so obtuse with how they didn't present it in the same way they did Subnautica 1. The progression path was way faster. Like, I think I finished Below Zero in like 4 streams. It was very fast. It was like, I don't even think, well, hold on, I can check. I don't even think I put 20 hours into it. Below Zero, I put 20.3 hours in it. But it's just, what did that do? Yeah, I put 20.3 hours in it compared to Subnautica that we put 47.9. So like literally half the time. We spent less than half the time. 2/5 of the time, right? So it sucks because I think that may be the last legitimate game we get from that team. I hear bad things going on with 2. We'll see. We'll see. I have high hopes. I just don't have expectations at this point. Pilgrim. Oh. I think Pilgrim's a B. I played it. It takes the idea of things going on in Lethal Company and it puts them in like an actual horror kind of situation where you're going through and they add a little bit of magic and chalk to res stuff, and that's kind of fun, but it is so janky. It's so broken. Lethal Company has jank to it. Pilgrim is a whole nother level of jank. Stuff just doesn't work properly in Pilgrim sometimes. Like, things will just disappear frequently. Like, Lethal Company stuff will like throw through the floor, maybe you miss stuff occasionally, but like, it's like, I'd say Lethal Company functions like 80% of the time the way you want it to. I feel like Pilgrim functions like 30% of the time the way you want it to. Stars from Divine Force. I'm putting it in didn't actually play. I played less than 1%. I tried it on the Steam Deck. We played it for like 5 hours last year. Based on that, I think it's probably like a C tier game, but I didn't actually play it this year. It's only on there because I tried to play it on my Steam Deck, which don't do that. It runs like dog shit on the Steam Deck. Final Fantasy VIII, S tier. Nope, sorry, Subnautica. You got to go down one. One of my favorite games of all time. I absolutely love Final Fantasy VIII. It does everything I want in a JRPG while still innovating on stuff that hadn't come before it. I love the card game so much. It was one of the first games that lets you just explore everything in a fucking spaceship. That was so cool. You know, it feels weird having some of these games on here because I'm just playing the Steam versions that I got with the pixel remasters and stuff for some of them. But Final Fantasy VIII is so good. Have a good night, Lana. Go make your food or do whatever you need to do. Final Fantasy VI, also S tier. Also S tier. Probably my favorite game of all time. That's a tough one. These two are pretty neck and neck, but I think 6 is probably my favorite game of all time. So it's going up top. It's going up top. Yeah. Holocure save the fans. I think it's like an A. I think it's an A. I don't think people really, I think a lot of people didn't really care for the streams very much, but I had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with Holocure. It's just kind of that Vampire Survivors kind of loop-de-loop, and it's fun. The music was fun. I love some Hololive. We love VTubers around here. I can't imagine why. Don't know why we love VTubers. Fucking cringe, obviously. But Holocure was fun. It's a lot of fun. Final Fantasy V. I think it's an A. I think it's a high A. This did the job system pretty much perfect. Unlike Final Fantasy III, it had a fun cast of characters with Bartz, Lena Ferris, Galuf, and Creel. But it doesn't quite hit S tier for me. It's pretty close though. It's really good. One of the best combat systems in the series. The best job system by far. Peak. I think Peak is like, I think Peak's a B. Played it, have fun. It has a lot of little intricacies. It feels kind of buggy still. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's user error. But Peak is like it's a B. It's a solid B. I think different map rotation more frequently to where like maybe it was every couple runs you got a different map would make it go well, because it feels like sometimes you're running the same one over and over and over for like a whole day. But it's fun. Fun with friends. Good times. All right. Here comes the clean sweep of where everyone finds out Ash's bias. Dark Souls, S tier. Dark Souls 2, A tier. Demon Souls, A tier. We're going to rearrange these momentarily. Bloodborne, S tier. Dark Souls 3, S tier. Sekiro, S tier. Elden Ring. I played it. Yeah, I played it. It'll be at the top of B. Dark Souls 2, probably over Holocure, Demon Souls, right above Final Fantasy V. Bloodborne! Right there. Sekiro, probably right there. Dark Souls 3, right there. Dark Souls 1, probably, I guess, above Subnautica. So I don't know if you guys can tell, I'm a Souls streamer. I love me some Souls games. So we have put, just behind Expedition 33, we've put Dark Souls 3. I think it perfected the formula. It is the best Souls formula game they've made, in my opinion. This is all, I just did that recent replay of everything in September, so this is all based on recent playthrough. I would have ranked Dark Souls 3 lower than this a year ago. But after replaying all of them, I think Dark Souls 3 is, it's the best one they've ever made. Bloodborne is also an S tier. The only thing that keeps it from beating Dark Souls 3 and stuff like that is it being locked to the PS4, and the frame rate suffers because of it. Sekiro's fantastic. Dark Souls 1, fantastic world, gameplay, combat. Sekiro, combat, lore. Demon Souls, It's an A tier. The only thing keeping it out of S tier is I'm not as big of a fan of the segmented world design with the Nexus as having the more interconnected world. Dark Souls 2, it's just, no, I think that's right. I think right there's right. Dark Souls 2 is fun, but it has a lot of jank the others don't have in different ways. Adaptability is a good example. I think it's like an 8, 7.5. Elden Ring is my least favorite in the series. I don't like open world games, like flat out. I just don't care for open world games. I think it drags the pace down. It makes me go explore and do a bunch of stuff before going to the open world. This feels bad. It feels wrong. I actually have to put it in A tier. It can't be below Night Rain. It is better than Night Rain, which means Dark Souls 2 is better than Elden Ring, which means Valheim is better. There we go. That's better. Maybe Dark Souls 2 is worse than Elden Ring. It's close. It's close. I'm a certified Elden Ring hater. I don't like it as much as the other games. Still really good game, to be very clear. I just don't like it as much. Repo. Sucked ass. Don't like it. Don't like Repo. I apologize for anyone who loves Repo and it's like their favorite friend slap game. Hater is such a strong... It's like... The thing is, like, I just don't like its open world. It adds so much to the game, but it also makes it so bloated. And it makes it to where, like, okay, so in my first playthrough of Elden Ring, I pretty much ignored the open world. And I had a really rough time, really hard bosses, really challenging fights all the way through the end. And I think that was solid. I had fun, albeit I raged a little bit more than I should have. So I bought it on PS5 and PC because I had different people wanted to play with. One thing against Elden Ring, no crossplay. That's stupid. That's fucking dumb. Night Rain fixed that. You do have crossplay in Night Rain. But they didn't have that, so I bought it on both systems. So I played straight through on PC immediately and had major performance bugs, but I got through it. Really hard time. I then went for the PS5 version, and this is why I played straight through the game, because I went and I was going to explore everything on PS5. I was so obscenely overpowered from exploring everything that the game was an absolute fucking joke. I understand it's their intent that you can get to somewhere if you're struggling. You can use the open world to go do other things, power up, come back. That is the intent. That was the purpose. But for someone who plays Souls games, it made the game like laughably easy at times. It made it not fun. It made it boring. And when a Souls game becomes boring, I don't want to play it. So, like, there's a happy medium where you do a... Yeah, you can't change the difficulty. But that's basically it, is you change the difficulty yourself by getting stronger weapons, different spells, that kind of thing. But the thing is, it makes it to where what I like about the Souls games is the tight combat, the fun boss encounters, and all of that's tempered by what you can get by that point in the game due to exploration limits, because they're more linear games. Because Elden Ring opens it up, you can literally skip. You can literally, from the very beginning, you can go all the way and do side exploration stuff, and you can get a maxed out weapon. Hold on, my brain's catching up to make sure I'm not lying. You can get an almost maxed out. You can get up to a +9 somber or a +24 regular, which is like second to last best leveled upgrade weapon, before ever fighting the first mandatory boss. Right, like you can just go get that stuff by exploring. So like you can trivialize 80% of the game if you do that. And that feels bad because it feels like game knowledge is rewarding me too much. So I don't know. It keeps Elden Ring from greatness. I understand, like, for newcomers, I think Elden Ring's the best place to start by far, because you do have that option. You do have a world to go explore. It's a fantastic open world game for that. I just don't like open world games that much. But back to Repo. I think Repo is too dark. I think there's too many punishing systems for just barely bumping stuff in the game that feels unfun comparatively to other friend slap games that are similar. I think Repo did the worst for me personally. But I understand why people like it. It's just not for me. Repo's just my least favorite one by far. I think like if you had to give me like a list of 5 games to play with friends, Repo is always going to be my last pick every time. Honey Pop, I didn't actually play this year, I don't think. I don't know why that's on there. I think I just opened it on Steam. Resident Evil 0. Why did I play this? Worst. This is the worst Resident Evil game I think they've ever made. Bold statement, maybe? They got experimental with the party system, switching between people, carrying items, but they did away with the item box because of that. And it meant there's a lot of backtracking, and don't get me wrong, there's backtracking in Resident Evil, but there's a lot of backtracking just to pick up something that you dropped because you didn't have room for it, that in every other Resident Evil game, you would have put in a box and had access to by going to a save room. Instead, you had to like try to remember where you dropped something, or you had to go scour your map for 10 minutes to find it. It was unfun in that way. So I'm gonna put it in why do we play this? Resident Evil 1 remake played it on Steam, but it's the GameCube remake. I think that's an A. I think that's probably right above Sunhaven, right there. Resident Evil 1's really good game for anyone who hasn't played it. They're basically shooter Metroidvanias, so if you like Hollow Knight and stuff like that, you might enjoy these. There is a lot of backtracking. You get different items and abilities in the same way that unlock your ability to do things in previous areas. Same concept. It's survival horror Metroidvania, basically. Resident Evil 2 remake. I think RE2 remake is an S tier. I think they did it really well. The original games aren't on this list this year because I didn't play them this year, but I'd argue the remake for RE2 does the original pretty well justice. I would put the original over it still, but it's close. It's close. Storyline's good, gameplay's fantastic, graphics are amazing. If you like Resident Evil, it's probably the one I would recommend the most for someone who wants to get into Resident Evil. Like if I had to suggest, hey, I can only play one Resident Evil game. If you're someone who likes Metroidvania games, this would be the one I recommend you. If you're someone who likes action games more, I would probably recommend Resident Evil 4 Remake more. But I think for a general gamer, I think Resident Evil 2 Remake's the way to go. Resident Evil 3 Remake. I arguably like this more than most people who've played it. But I still think it's like, probably there. Probably between Final Fantasy IV and Vermintide. It's still a B. I can't justify putting it in A, but it's a good game. It takes the good things of Resident Evil 2, brings them back, but it cuts so much content from the original Resident Evil 3 that it, like if you've played the original, it's really noticeable. So you're like, it's not the greatest. A lot of people complain about it, but the combat's still just as good as Resident Evil 2. They added a dodge. It's good. I think it's a good game, but it's not quite A tier. Resident Evil 4, on the other hand, I think this remake is probably right there, probably just below the Demon's Souls remake. It's an A tier. It's a fantastic game. I just think the original's still a lot better. For anyone who's played the original versus remake, I don't know what most people would pick. I think Ashley is less annoying in remake. I think it's nice that you can move around while aiming, so you're not like stuck while aiming. But it's not as corny. Capcom did away with the corny. Like, they left the bingo line, but a lot of the dialogue in Resident Evil 4 is very clear, like B-grade horror movie dialogue and it doesn't take itself too seriously. I feel like in 4 Remake, it took itself a bit more seriously than the original, and so it's not quite as good. I think the original is an S tier game, though. Dead by Daylight. I played it. We only played it in the collab. We had fun. I enjoyed it. I just didn't learn it. So I think I'm gonna put it at the top of C tier. I got everything in C tier. It's the one I had the most fun with, but I don't feel like I played it enough to form a full opinion to be like, oh, this is a fantastic game. We played it for that one collab and then I never touched it again. Same way with Pow World, kind of a thing. So I'm gonna put it above Pow World because I think I liked it more than I liked Pow World, but not by a lot. Escape the Backrooms. I had a great time playing this game with Glow. I had a lot of fun. But I think it's a C tier game. I think there was a lot of jank to it. May have been because we were playing it on hard. May have been because we were playing it on hard. I liked the vibe. I had fun. The game kind of sucked. Yeah, so like, I don't want to put it in sucked ass category because like, I had fun with friends. Exactly. But I don't know that if I were to ever play that on my own, that I wouldn't put it in sucked ass on my own, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it in C. It wasn't quite as much fun as Dead by Daylight, but like for the gameplay loop. But like, it was a fun collab game though. So I mean, I don't know. What is this? Is this Phasmophobia? I think this is Phasmophobia. I think I picked a really terrible picture for Phasmophobia. I think Phasmo was a low A, a very low A to be clear. I think I don't know the game well enough. I think if I learned the game more, I'd have a stronger opinion and may put it higher in A, but I think there was a lot of fun little tools once we got over the initial jank. So there's the initial jank of Ash and Glow skip the tutorial. So I can't really blame the game for that. So there was a pretty massive learning curve in the first, I don't know, 2 hours of playing the game. Went way better when we played with Enki and Anwa the following week or whatever. But it was fun. I liked the different idea for ghosts. I like going into the book. I like all the different items, I guess. I was going to say abilities, but all different items each have their own individual thing. I do think there's a few things that are kind of like chalked up to you just know it with experience, because there were some ghosts that it was like the first time a mimic showed up and I had we didn't know to look for a mimic. We just were kind of going through the list and, oh, this thing matches all these things. Well, it turns out it didn't because a mimic was there, kind of a thing. That's lack of experience. So I can't really put that on the game, but that's also a good point for the game because it teaches you. Welcome in, Anwa. I hope you're having a good Wednesday. We're just going over in ranking games I played in 2025. We did our Steam recap first. He's talking Phasmo. You were summoned because you played Phasmo with us. We're putting it in low A tier, very bottom of A tier, but I think it's an A tier game. I do. Okay. Jump King sucked ass. I'm probably, when I get to the end of this game, I'll have a different opinion. But as of right now, Jump King is one of the most frustrating games I've ever played. But I only play it in about 10-minute increments. So maybe by the time I'm done with it, I'll have a different opinion. I know a lot of people love it, but so far it's a little much for me. I might rage a little too hard, but I've also been playing it on Steam Deck. Man of Medan. This was the first one we played with Glow of the Dark Picture anthologies. And I think it's probably a low B. Maybe above Pilgrim, because no. I think yeah, above Pilgrim, below Zero. Here's why. Below Zero still has the fact it's a Subnautica game going for it. Pilgrim's super glitchy. Man of Medan, the controls are really quite wonky. It was the first time playing that kind of co-op of this specific style of the Dark Picture we did. So it felt very punishing when like we were going through, we were having fun, and then Glow made like one mistake and it got someone immediately killed. Even though they did like three, it was like she did like 3 correct QTEs in a row and then missed one and got the character killed, right? Like it was like a chain of 4 QTEs. She missed the individual one that had to work properly and it got her killed. Like that felt a bit punishing. And I'm not going to say that's bad design because it's clearly how they designed it. They want you to replay them and stuff like that. But for a single playthrough, it was a fun co-op experience, but I think it had moments that you were like, what's going on? On the contrast, Little Hope, I think, is an A. I think this one was a better game. It controlled better. They changed the camera a little bit to where you had like a movable camera in this one where you didn't in Man of Medan. The QTEs in Man of Medan, you had like some would be on the mouse and or some would be on the mouse, some would be on the keyboard. But when you got to Little Hope, it was you could do it all on the mouse, if that makes sense. I think I liked it a little bit a little bit less than Phasmo. But it seemed a bit more consistent. Again, it still had that issue where I feel like if you did one thing wrong, you kind of borked your run. We lost everyone other than the guy it was about by the end or whatever, but it was fun. It was fun. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. It improved on what Man of Medan had started. House of Ashes was the last one we played. So I want to be super real. I think I had a worse experience with this game than I probably should have. I wasn't on caffeine. I, at the time, was having a really rough go of it. I tried to quit cigarettes or not cigarettes, vaping, but I tried to pull off nicotine and it hadn't worked. So I restarted again. At the time, we're now a week and a half clean right now. I haven't had it in a week and a half, but at the time I had like tried to stop, got into really annoying work times and started again. So I wasn't in the best place for this. And so I feel like I rage baited Glow a bit more in this specific game. And so I feel like I kind of self-sabotaged the experience a little bit. I still think it's better than Man of Medan, though. Not by much. But I do think it was a little bit better. I just think it was probably a worse stream experience than Man of Medan, but it was still a better game. If that makes sense. Just cancel instead of rage bait. You know I can't do that. I gotta rage bait. When rage baiting lowers the score instead of raising it. Yeah, so is there any games that it raised the score in? I'm trying to think. I think Phasmo would actually raise the score in Phasmo a little bit because you could rage bait the ghosts and stuff. Are we there yet? This is going to be recency bias at its peak. I have only played this with Belle, Sabby, and Lana, so I can't tell you how it transfers to everyone collabing with it or other people. But I think as of right now, it's like, is it better than Elden Ring? Probably not. It's probably like right above Phasmo. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It does have a lot of jank to it, a bit of a learning curve. I think the proximity chat's pretty bad in RV there yet comparatively. Stuff does disappear. We had that entire stream where after like, I don't know, an hour, everything was fucking glitching out for me, and like the RV was jumping around like it's a rave. If you go to the YouTube channel, there is a clip of that where it says like RV rave, I think is the name of the clip, and it's just literally I'm walking up this hill and the game bugged out, and it just looks like the RV is fucking tripping on acid, bouncing up and down everywhere. So I think they have some work to do. Mix It Up is working. I must not have YouTube linked on there. I think because I have the other one. I should add that though. Thank you. I'll try to remember that. Hey Siri, set a reminder to add an exclamation point YouTube.
Okay. I added YouTube to the list. Let me know if you'd like to add a time or location. You can say something like,
that's cool. Have fun. Enjoy.
Tomorrow.
Cool. I'll remember to do that now. Ditsy Demons didn't actually play this year. Mega Man 11. I don't know how much I can overstate this. I fucking hated Mega Man 11. I think this game sucked ass. Not as much as Final Fantasy 3 or No Time to Relax. Yeah, it's probably the better. I did not have fun with Mega Man 11. I played it out of obligation to get it off my Switch backlog. I like Mega Man games. I don't like the Double Drive system. I don't like the actual level layouts and how they handled checkpoints in this one. And I think the bosses were just kind of shit because there was like one or two solutions that just kind of beat all bosses. It wasn't really balanced in the same way all the other Mega Mans are because you could just overdrive that double gear system to win fights. Didn't like it. They just announced a new Mega Man game. It looks like it's using a hyped up version of the same system. I'm going to buy it out of obligation probably, but I have no hopes of it not being just as dog shit. I really disliked Mega Man 11. Buckshot. Okay, we're into the stuff that got added because it wasn't on my Steam list initially. Some of these are on Steam, but I had to like do the drop down. Buckshot Roulette. I played it. It's one of those ones where it's like I had a lot of fun when we played the game, but if no one asks me specifically to play the game, I'll probably never play the game again. Like it's fun with friends, but that's about as far as it goes, right? Like that's actually just kind of as far as it goes. I like the art style. The concept is cool. I just don't ever feel like playing it, if that makes sense. If someone's like, hey, we should play this game, I'll be like, cool. Pop me in, let's do this. And I'll have a fun time with it, you know? I'll get to call Boogie an old man again. It'll be great. But I'm never going to go out of my way to play it on my own. Necopara Volume 3. So I didn't actually play it this year, but Necopara Volume 3 is like probably between there. It's probably up there. If you like visual novels, you like cat girls, you want to sex up a cat girl, there you go. That is the best Necopara volume, probably. 2 is also pretty good, but that's probably the best one. That's about as much detail as I can go into on stream. It is a not safe for work game about cats. So, Disgaea didn't actually play it this year. I just launched it on Steam. I've played it in the past. Disgaea 1 is like a 8 out of 10. Fantastic game. Didn't actually play it this year though. The Exit 8. I think Exit 8 is... So I'm torn here. All right, let me know what you guys think, chat. So I'm torn here because I think as a game, the Exit 8 is like a low A tier. As a stream game, I think it's an S tier. Probably a low S tier. Probably like above Lethal Company and stuff. Like I'd probably put it there as a stream game. It was a lot of fun. Going in, finding the different anomalies, talking about what we did or didn't miss. It was fun to hang out with chat in. But I think like the quality of the actual game itself is probably an A tier. So maybe we put it like above Sunhaven, but below Resident Evil. Maybe even, yeah, we'll do above Sunhaven. I think it's a high A. It can't quite knock out the A tiers of the Souls-like, the RPG, and then the Metroidvania likes like there, but it's real good. It's real good as a stream game, and it's fun enough as a regular game. Guilty as sucked ass. I think if you're good at role playing, I think if you're into RP and you know that it's a role play game going into it, it's probably much better. Me, Koi, and Onwa really struggled to get that game going in a positive way. It was just kind of boring and us floundering. Onwa tried to carry hard, to be fair. Onwa gave it his all for it, but Koi definitely wasn't vibing with it. I don't think it was the kind of experience she was expecting, and then I just frankly didn't know what it was, so I wasn't prepared to be in an RP mood. I had worked a 12-hour day, like I wasn't on caffeine. Like maybe if I went in knowing and played it now, I'd have a different experience, but it kind of sucked ass when we played it. Did you actually end up playing it, Glow? Because I don't know. I felt like a lot of people were going around and promoting it like it was this fun game, and then when I finally got into it, I was like, oh, well, it's a game. Feels very much kind of like an asset flip game that you're just meant to roleplay in, but for like an hour, yeah, okay, I think that's about. And this is where the next game comes in. Scribble It is what we switched to after we stopped playing Guilty as Sock, and I think Scribble It is solid B tier. I think it was fun. It's like, what is it? If On was still here, what would you call it? Like Pictionary kind of thing. We drew stuff and you had to guess based on categories and stuff like that, and you got points based on who guessed quickest and slowest. It was fun. It was a fun game. But it's like a tabletop type game more so than a video game. So it's hard for me to place it higher here, but it's fun. I think it's free as well. If you just want to do a collab with people and don't want to invest money, just go download Scribble It. It was a good time. I would actually recommend it quite a bit, but I just think as a game, it's not trend setting, it's not breaking any records or anything. Just funny, it didn't actually play. Again, I will be playing it this next year. I just wanted to put it on my Steam Deck as an RPG to play, so I just launched it. That's why it turned on there. I just wanted to make sure it ran on the Steam Deck okay. I've played it back on the GameCube way back day. Tales of Symphonia is probably like my 5th favorite Tales game, but it's like an 8 out of 10. It's really good. A lot of people's favorite Tales game. I think we're getting close to the point where I'm gonna have to actually rate Baldur's Gate and disappoint some people. Maybe. Fortnite. Why did I play this? I'm gonna be honest. I'm not super into Battle Royale. I'm not super into the aesthetic. I'm not good at shooters very much. That said, it is a third-person shooter, at least the way I play it. I don't know if there's a first-person mode. I did go in with Boogie and get a victory royale the one time I went and played with him. So it's fun, but it's in one of those like, why did I actually launch this outside of just trying to specifically get a battle royale with Boogie? I think I played it once with Koi, and that's about it. Like, I'm never gonna download and launch Fortnite on my own. We played it last year when we did our 4 games in 4 hours, where we got to play 1 hour of. We did 1 hour of Minecraft, 1 hour of Fortnite, 1 hour of Valorant, 1 hour of League. And back then I thought Fortnite was kind of meh as well. So maybe I need more hours in it, but I don't really get the hype. I don't know why it's like one of the most popular games in the world, but it is. On the flip side, I think Fall Guys is an A. Probably above RV There Yet. I think Fall Guys is a lot of fun. It's mindless fun though. You go play it for an hour here, 2 hours there. You just go do a little platforming, have fun with friends. Great collab game. That was really fun. I think, what was it, Community Night with Glow that we did that? That was fun. I've played it with Koi before. Like, Fall Guys is a good time. I understand the hype. I understand the hype on that one. Dead Cells. Ooh. I'm not the biggest roguelike person. That said, I like the kind of side scroll aspect. I liked the different abilities. We had a nice, good run. I think it's probably above Neo, though. Right there in A tier. We got a lot of A tiers. Got a lot of A tiers. I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting a lot more B tiers than this, but some of these I just feel bad putting them any lower based on what else is around them. We may do some fine tuning at the end here. We may do some fine tuning. Okay. Hollow Knight. Who are we kidding? Hollow Knight's an S tier game. Hollow Knight is barely an S tier game. I think it's probably right there. Yeah, probably just below Subnautica. That's above Subnautica. They're both really good games, but I have my gripes with both of them. But I think I have less gripes with Hollow Knight. Really good. I think it's set probably what the standard is for Metroidvanias for years to come. I regret so much that I waited so long to play through it properly, since I've literally owned it since the day it first came out. I bought it the day it came out on Switch, whenever it was a Switch exclusive. Like, I played it for like 2 to 3 hours and then never picked it back up until earlier this year. And I adore it. I have my gripes, but it's so good. It's so good. We got some heavy hitters left. Okay. I'm currently playing all of these last games, so they're all fresh in my mind, and I have mixed feelings a bit on some of them. I think Silksong, as of right now, I think is worse than Hollow Knight. I think it takes what Hollow Knight did. It adds an extra currency that does not feel good to have the extra currency, because what that does is it locks your new fun abilities that it gives you in the form of tools behind a secondary currency while still requiring you to get the original currency in rosaries. Bosses no longer give the reward of Geo in the way of rosaries, so you don't get the same reward for killing bosses, so that feels less rewarding. That said, I think the movement is fun. I think the tools are a good time. The bosses, for the most part, they all have kind of had like one move that I've not really been the biggest fan of, that's felt a little cheap. The Last Judge is an easy example, with the fire like spin can literally, if you go in for a single hit and don't immediately get out, like you can get caught in that immediately, and once the animation starts, you don't have time to get out. That said, there is the magma bell to negate some of that. You can technically jump and float in the air there to negate some of that. Like but you know, it's a gameplay choice. So like, I don't like the idea of having to trade off an attack opportunity, like a damage opportunity, to just sit there and do nothing in that range. So it feels like it comes out of nowhere. So I don't think it's as good as Hollow Knight. I think it's probably, and I may change this by the time I finish the game, but I think it's it's probably between Resident Evil Remake and Final Fantasy V. It's really good. It's definitely one of the best of the Metroidvanias, but it's not at Hollow Knight's difficulty. Like how differently places have bugs with different rates of drop for low reasons. See, that's cool. It's too soon. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I'm having fun with Silksong. Okay, to be clear, I'm having way more fun with early game Silksong than I did with early game Hollow Knight. I think early game Hollow Knight has a lot of problems. I think by the time you get the Dream Nail, Hollow Knight really starts to open up and is a lot more fun and really good, and it keeps just, that's the thing, Hollow Knight, it just kept improving the more stuff you get. And so right now with Silksong, I don't actually feel like it's improving when I get more stuff, because a lot of that stuff is locked behind my ability to have a second currency, which doesn't feel good. I also feel like you're a little bit overwhelmed with the amount of crests it gives you. Like I think I went like 10 hours with no extra crests. I just had the single crest, and then I got like 3 new crests within like an hour of gameplay of each other, which feels like a pacing problem. But again, we'll see, because I know you can evolve the crest. I got one of them evolved, so we'll see how that pans out as we go. But I think it's an A for now. We're gonna tentatively, it's an A on next year's list. It'll probably end up back on the list, and we'll see if we've changed our mind. But I have high hopes. I think it's like an 8 out of 10 for me right now, though. Next, we're gonna do Minecraft. And I have a feeling a lot of people probably put this in S tier. I am not going to be that generous. I have been pretty outspoken about issues I have with Minecraft. That said, I think it's an A tier game. I think I'm really, really early in Minecraft, because there's a lot of stuff that is just, so like with Minecraft, there's a lot of stuff that's just common knowledge for people that I'm just learning, and it slows the process down of doing like everything, be it the building, be it crafting, be it knowing what different blocks look like. And it's fun to kind of learn the stuff, but it also feels really slow at times because of that. Like, you guys know it who've played Minecraft, but like the whole food saturation level thing, that's not explained at all anywhere from what I can tell, to know what's going to have better saturation or not, outside of just knowing it heals this many things when I have it, right? Or to know, hey, how many times can I cook this block of stone before it no longer, like, it's all just trial and error, which is great if like that's what you like, but I think it's a little too obtuse for me at times. I'm gonna put it in an A. Maybe I'll change my mind down the road. I know I like it better than RV There Yet, Fall Guys, Holo Cure. Can I put it? Here's my dilemma: is I don't know if I can justify putting it above Elden Ring. If I can't justify putting it above Elden Ring, then I can't justify putting it above Night Rain. It's kind of how I feel, because these three are all very close for me. So I think I'm going to put it below Night Rain for now. I think Valheim, out of them, I think Valheim is a way better game for me. I like it a lot more. Like, the gap here is massive in my mind, but it's not, like, Valheim's not S tier. For survival craft, though, I think Valheim I like a lot more. But I also have 90 more hours in Valheim than I have Minecraft. So, like, that's where I'm saying it's probably just a knowledge gap that's making me place it as low as I am. Because I know a lot of people love it. It is one of the best stream games. I'll give it that. I think one of my favorite streams was doing the TGA, with just playing Minecraft in the background. That was a lot of fun. It's a really good React game. I enjoyed that. It also just lets me be creative, but as a game, I feel like it's lacking a little bit. Okay. Baldur's Gate 3. I've been pretty outspoken about many issues I have with this game. But But I will admit, once I put the restriction of not save scumming, you're gonna love the Minecraft trial chambers. What are those? That sounds like something I would enjoy. I liked watching you do that speedrun platforming thing. That looked really fun. I think the reality is, once I learn the game, I'm probably going to stop actually playing Minecraft and just do high pixel stuff. That shit looked like a lot of fun. A lot of the different modes there looked like a good time. So if it's anything like that kind of stuff, I'd probably like it. Dungeon with spawns and waves and drops. Ooh, okay, a horde mode kind of a thing. It's not on my list here, but I'll tell you what, I think Minecraft Dungeons is a better game than Minecraft. But I like Diablo, and I like isometric over the top, so that's like the style of game that is. So once I stop save scumming and force myself to work out in order to re-roll, Baldur's Gate got way better for me. It didn't feel as tedious. Things went... The further you get, the more options you have to do stuff. It doesn't feel as limiting. It's not an S tier for me, because I still think there's a lot of things that are really inconsistent with the pathing, with the AI, with the game telling you you're going to do something and then it not doing it. For just arbitrary reasons, like it'll just think it'll go to move you somewhere, and then it just decides the pathing no longer works and it doesn't move you there, but it still eats your movement for your turn. I have a major issue with that. I don't like that it does background rolls. I wish everything I rolled was something I rolled. Like the fact that I walk up to something and it just lets me fail a perception check because it rolled it in the background and didn't let me pick if I wanted to use guidance or anything like that on it. I don't like that. I take major issue with that coming from actual D&D. I get to roll all my stuff in D&D. So that stuff keeps it at a S tier for me. I think a lot of the fights get overly crowded. It's hard to see stuff when everything's on top of each other. But the narrative is really good. The choices are really good. I like the variety you have to do things in combat. I think I'm gonna put it... I think I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it between Ender Magnolia and Necropara Volume 3. Feels like a weird placing. I think it's an A tier game. I think it's like a 7.5 for me. I know it's like a 10 out of 10 for a lot of people. I know people adore it, but maybe I'll feel different by the time I finish it. By the middle of Act 3, which is where I am though, it's gotten better, but then the performance got worse. So the game feels better to actually play. The combat's smoother, you have more options and tools to use, the narrative is being fleshed out more, but the game kind of runs like dog shit in Act 3 compared to Act 1 and 2. Act 2 was really good. If I had to rate the game on just Act 2, I'd probably give it a 10 out of 10. I really liked Act 2. But then Act 3, like, you get this climax going out of Act 2 and you start Act 3 and it's really slow and feels like you're rebuilding up stuff. I don't know. We're going to leave it there between Ender Magnolia and Necropara. And the final game is Final Fantasy XIV Online. This game has been a part of my life for over a decade now. And I very much love it. But I have so many issues with the game. Like, I'm not resubbing after this month. Like, this month I'll have my December sub, but when it runs out in January, I'm not resubbing. I'll resub whenever the next patch after that comes out and play, but I'm taking some time away from it because I'm just kind of disillusioned with it. I don't have much fun playing it after all this time. Like, I've just spent too much time with the game. I love the narrative. I enjoy the combat. No, the game has just changed so much over the years that I just don't enjoy it as much. Like, the actual narrative experience has changed for the worse, in my opinion. The actual combat encounters, a lot of the times I don't enjoy them as much because the combat's changed so much. Like, I could go on for probably an hour over how I feel about what they've done to like gut the scholar job over the years, be it from taking away miasma and shadow flare, taking it off of a dot job, removing access to my ability to individually pet heal people, to adding the fairy like there's so much stuff that I feel like they've changed to make it worse, simply to make it easier for people, and they've really dumbed it down over the years, to the point where like when you learn to play at a high level in the game in the old days, it means that like the gap between the average player and you is so vast. Like, I'm not even like, it's literally, it's so vast what a casual player of the game now is capable of doing rotationally and damage and consistency compared to someone who was like at the high end before it got nerfed. That it just feels bad. It's embarrassing sometimes. So it's like, I just need some time away from it. Hopefully things will change. Hopefully by the time the next expansion comes out, some stuff will change. I can't put it less than an A tier though. It's been part of my life so long, and I think the narrative, especially up through like Shadowbringers, is so good. I think A Realm Reborn, I've been playing it for what, 13 years now? It feels like one almost. We're on a break. We can see other people. The game's designed around doing this. You're supposed to be able to take breaks from the game and come back, and they have catch-up content and everything. I'm gonna put it high A tier. I think if this was before Endwalker or Dawntrail came out, I would have it in S tier. I really did not like the narrative direction they went in Endwalker. I didn't like the combat encounters they did in Endwalker. Dawntrail, they've went a different direction, kind of soft rebooted stuff, but I've not enjoyed what they've done for the combat changes to make it less fun to actually play the jobs. So it's kind of like they shitified the story in one expansion. They kind of brought it back a little bit better in the next, but then they shitified the combat for me. So I don't know. We'll be back to 14 at some day, I'm sure. But I mean, we're still playing it right now. We have raid on Friday. We're raiding Friday. But once the sub runs out, we're not resubbing. So maybe it feels like a breakup. Maybe I should cry about it. Maybe I gotta tear up just a little bit. That's our tier list. That's everything we played in 2025. Unless you guys can think of something else you remember me playing that I didn't put on here, because again, there was stuff that did not show up on Steam. I could have forgot stuff. I don't fucking know. But I think that's everything. In the didn't actually play this year, we have Star Ocean, Honey Pop Double Date, Ditzy Demons Are in Love with Me, Disgaea, PC Edition, and Tales of Symphonia. Some of these I've never played. Like I've only played like 3 hours of this. Haven't finished this, haven't finished that. I played this way back in the day, and that, you know. Sucked ass games. Mega Man 11, fuck that game. I think that game was trash. I think that's the worst Mega Man game I've ever played. All the other Mega Man games are way better. Final Fantasy 3, dog shit. Not good. Job system, terrible. Combat, terrible. Storyline, overworld, terrible. Worst Final Fantasy game. No Time to Relax. Don't Tell Koi. Don't like this game, though. Hate this game. Sucks. Do not like it. Repo. Sucks ass. Not a fan. Stuff gets knocked over too easy. I have way too hard of a time seeing. I have issues with colorblind stuff in this game. Jump King. I'm just bad. Let's be real. Jump King's probably not actually that bad of a game. I'm just bad at it. Guilty as Sock. The roleplay is that's the whole game. It's role-playing, and I was not good at it. Thought it sucked ass. And why did I play this? Resident Evil 0 is a C. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The dual protagonist system did not work very well. Valkyrie Elysium, we just keep dropping it on stream. We've tried it twice and haven't gone back to it either time afterwards. It's probably a good game. Maybe just not for me. Pal World, that's on our list of stuff to come back to, but as of right now, it's kind of a miss. Backrooms, it was fun to collab with Glow on it, but the game kind of wasn't very good. It's a little obtuse. We were on hard mode though. Maybe if we were on normal mode, I'd be singing a different story, but we played it on hard. Dead by Daylight, it was a fun time. I only played it for a couple hours in a collab. I couldn't form a real opinion. I liked playing Killer though. I liked playing the teleporting killer, whatever her name was. A witch maybe? Like witch? It was the witch. That was fun. Fortnite is a C. I don't get the hype. People love it. I don't get the hype. B tiers. It's stuff that's in your, like, you know, your 5 to 6 range. Scribble, Pictionary, Buckshot Roulette, Pilgrim, Man of Medan, House of Ash. Those are kind of all their tier of, I've played it once. Unless someone prompts me to do it again, I probably won't play it again. With the exception of maybe Scribble It. That's a decent collab game. So is Buckshot Roulette, though. Below Zero, I think they gutted Subnautica a little bit too much for Below Zero. Utah, not really a great stream game for me. I'll play it offline. Maybe I'll change my mind. I loved Mask of Deception and Mask of Truth. A Way Out, Glow hates me. She killed me. This is all her fault. It's in this. It could have been an S tier, but she betrayed me, so it's down here in B tier. Summer Pockets, again, a non-stream game in my opinion. It's probably a little too hard-hitting and emotional. Peak, fun, great collab game, but it's one of those games that I think it doesn't quite have enough variety. Like once you know the map, you just go through the map, I think. It was fun. I am interested. I kind of want to watch. I know the speed runs are really fast. I'm kind of interested in watching a speed run and maybe doing a speed run of Peak. Monster Hunter Wilds. The game runs like total ass. It runs so bad. And the post-game content has been lackluster, to say the least. Vermintide 2 kept crashing, otherwise it would be in A tier. It couldn't actually finish the game. Resident Evil 3 remake cut a lot of content from the OG, but the combat's fun. It's a good time. I'd recommend playing it, but because it cut out, you know, doing the water treatment facility, doing the cemetery, doing the clock tower, I have to knock it down a peg. Final Fantasy IV, what can I say? It's a phenomenal game. It's just one of my least favorite from the 2D era. I don't like the cast as much. A tier, we have a lot of A tier games. Kind of surprised. I think this has the most. Little Hope. It was the best of the Dark Pictures games that me and Glow played in October. I think by a pretty wide margin for me. I had a lot of fun with Little Hope. I did do some intentional rage baiting in Little Hope, but it was in a good way. It was in a fun way. I had a good time with it. Phasmo. I think it's a good collab game. I don't know that I'd play it outside of a collab, but I have a lot of fun with collabs with it. Same with RV There Yet. Fall Guys just stands on its own. I'll go play an hour of Fall Guys here or there, even now. Like, it's one of the games that's installed on my never-ending list that I'll just occasionally go play. I'm not good at it, but it's fun to go play on occasion. Holo Cure. Your vampire survivors with VTubers. Love it. Love it. A. Minecraft. I'm reserving judgment. This is tentatively an A. Tentatively. I have a lot of issues with Minecraft, but I think a lot of it's just a learning curve. Night Rain. It's not Elden Ring, what can I say? It's a little fast-paced, but it's fun with friends. Lots of bosses, and I need to get the DLC. It's $15, chat, but they added my boys, the Demon Princes from fucking Dark Souls 3's expansion. The Ringed City, they added them into Night Rain. I need to get on it and play it. I need to get a hold of Kosa and Nugget, and we need to get a team of 3 to go in and play it. It'll be good. But as right now, it's an A tier. Dark Souls 2, Black Sheep of the Souls games, still an A tier game. Adaptability is what holds its back, and a little bit janky hitboxes. Elden Ring, it's only A tier for me because I'm not a big open world fan. You can scale the open world a little too strongly to make the actual mandatory bosses a little bit too easy. Valheim, the only reason it's not an S is the Mistlands suck ass. Otherwise, it would be an S tier. Literally one area of 120-hour playthrough knocked it down a whole rank for me. Neo, fantastic. Neo 2's better. Just go play Neo 2. You don't need to play Neo, just go play Neo 2. Like, actually, you're missing nothing. Just go play Neo 2. Dead Cells, fun time. Little roguelite Metroid. Side-scrolling action with, different changing weapons and stuff. Fun run. There's still way more of the game we can play, but we finished a run, so we called it a day. Nekopara, this is a hentai game, chat. I'm gonna be real. You're having sex with cat girls. What can I say? It's good. Volume 3 is probably one of the best. I don't know why it was on my play this year. I don't even remember playing it this year, but it showed up in Steam and said I did it. Baldur's Gate 3. I have a lot of issues with it. Still an A-tier game. Enter Magnolia. It's Hollow Knight, but worse. I think that's the easiest way to describe it. It's the exploration's a little bit better, but the combat's a little bit worse. But you have abilities and skills closer to Silksong. If you've not played Ender Lilies, play Ender Lilies first. Fantastic game. Ender Magnolia is the sequel. Sunhaven. It is my go-to farming sim. It's the only one I played this year. I've not played Stardew. I did play Fields of Mystria previously and Harvestella. Sunhaven's better than both of them. By a long shot for me. Love Sunhaven. I only have about 50 hours in it though. So we will be, once we're done raiding in 14, we will be going and playing Sunhaven with Koi though on Fridays, I think, for a little bit. We're gonna make a little Sunhaven world. Exit 8, great stream game. Love it. It's one of those paranormal games where you pick out the thing that's wrong in the room. There are some co-op ones I want to look into. I think it'd be fun to do some collabs with the kind of pick out what's wrong in the scene where you change cameras and stuff like that for it. I think it'd be a good time. Probably we'll look into a handful of those to get and pop those on next October's kind of scare collabs. I like doing a lot of collabs in October for scary stuff, so we'll probably try to do that then. Resident Evil Remake, what can I say? It's a classic. It is an A. Silksong, I don't feel like I've played enough of it to really justify putting it in S. It's worse than Hollow Knight, but I enjoy it. Final Fantasy V, the second best of the 2D era Final Fantasies. Best job system I think they've ever implemented. And I like the characters. I love Bard, Selena, Ferris, Gelf, and Kryl. They're all really compelling characters, especially for the 2D era. Resident Evil 4 Remake, it's worse than OG. Just go play OG in my mind, unless you can't handle dated graphics, and even then, the graphics still look fine with some mods. But it's good. It's probably the best entry point for someone who likes action shooting games, but wants to get into Resident Evil. Demon Souls, the only reason this is not an S tier game is the hub. You gotta go to different areas. You can't just kind of interconnect the same way as all the other Souls games. Final Fantasy XIV, A tier. We just broke up with it a few minutes ago. It's honestly one of my favorite games of all time. They just keep scooping its guts out more and more to be a hollow husk of what it used to be, and I just can't deal with it anymore. We're putting it on the back burner. I think some of these are about to change categories because in the S tier we have Oh Dear. I think Oh Dear goes just below Are We There Yet? I think it's a little bit better than Phasmo for a collab to just play with people mindlessly, but it takes a lot less thought than something like Phasmo or something like Are We There Yet? So I'm going to put it between them because it's just mindless fun in the same kind of vibe. I think Lethal Company is my Friend Slop champion. It is my favorite of the Friend Slop games to play. For collabs for the modded worlds, like I love doing the Final Fantasy XIV worlds with Belle and Sabby. Those are always fun. Lethal, it may have been the first one. A lot of people don't like it as much as other ones like Repo, but it is my go-to. It's my list, my choice. I'll take Lethal every time. Subnautica. I guess this is my favorite survival craft game I think that I've ever played. I fell in love with the gameplay loop. I fell in love with the world. Even if I, kind of circumvented using the prawn and did some sequence breaks and stuff, I had a lot of fun with Subnautica. like all survival craft games, I do have some issues with it, but I think it is the one I have the least issues with. And I'd highly recommend it. I think it's like a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's one of the best, like, world-focused narratives in gaming that I've ever played, where, you know, your decisions and your choices and how you explore the world flesh out the narrative of the game. I think we have a couple games coming up that do it better than Subnautica, but for survival craft, it's definitely the best one to do it. It's kind of in a league of its own, I think. I do have some I've not played, like I don't know about Rust, I don't know about The Forest, but from the ones I've played, it's top of the line. Hollow Knight, it's not the best Metroidvania in existence, but it's the best one we played this year. It's no Super Metroid, but it's pretty fucking close. The combat gets better and better as you play. The exploration gets better and better as you play. Your abilities, the bosses, everything. By the time you get to the end of it, you want to do more, and thankfully it lets you, because you probably missed half the shit that you need to unlock the actual endings. And even then, you missed half the shit you need to unlock the extra additional endings on top of that. So it's good. Hollow Knight's good. I think Hollow Knight's like a 10 out of 10 Metroidvania. I think I'd give it like a 9.5. I think the first 10 hours of the game is like an 8. And then after that, I think it bumps itself up to a 10. Silksong 2. We'll see. We'll see how I feel about Silksong. Because I have a lot more gripes with Silksong than I do with Hollow Knight. Like significantly more. And it's crazy because everyone bitched about damage in Silksong, and that's not even one of my complaints. I think the damage numbers in Silksong are probably fine for the most part. I think there's been like a run back or two where the enemies dealing double damage was a bit annoying, but it's like, just don't get hit for it. Like, just don't take the damage, dumbass. Like, what are we doing? But I think because there's so much movement, I think the platforming needs to be a little too tight in Silksong sometimes compared to Hollow Knight. Resident Evil 2 Remake, arguably as good as the original. The only thing it suffers from is the A and B scenarios aren't as fleshed out and distinct as they were in the OG. You had 4 distinct scenarios, Leon A, Claire B, and then Claire A, Leon B. As where in this, they still do that kind of thing, but it's pretty much just an A or B scenario, and they just insert whichever character you are into those. So you really only have 2 scenarios with very minor changes, as where in the OG, you had 4 very distinct scenarios where stuff changed, how you did things changed, order of placements changed. Still good, 10 out of 10. If you like Metroidvanias, but you're into survival horror type stuff, I think this is the game to play. This is the one Resident Evil to play. If you prefer action-oriented shooters, Resident Evil 4 would be your go-to, but I think Resident Evil 2 is a much better game. Now, OG Resident Evil 4 stands toe-to-toe with this one. So, Dark Souls, Prepare to Die. It is the entry to the Souls series. We had Demon Souls, but that does things different. Dark Souls has, I think, to this day, the best interconnected world in video games ever done. I don't think anything else even comes close. I think it is the gold standard for using the world to tell a story around you outside of just giving you cutscenes. Between item descriptions, environmental stuff, the art direction with things. An easy example is how, if you read item descriptions, you kind of learn about the knights that defended the world from the last Age of Fire and how Artorias was holding back Manus to stop the Abyss from encroaching, and you learn all that from item descriptions, and then you finally, you make your way to where Artorias is buried, and you have to fight Sif, who was his companion, like, wolf dog thing that served by his side in his fight against the darkness, and Sif is guarding his grave, but you have to get the ring from his grave to enter the Abyss to fight one of the 4 lords that you need to go restart or end the fire. So you have to fight this dog that if you've not been paying attention to the world around you or the lore, it's just like you just show up and fight this dog. But if you've been paying attention, you know that this good boy is just kind of protect his master's grave from looters after he went out trying to defend this dying world from the encroaching abyss. And it's just this very tragic story, all told through the world and the world building without ever giving you a direct cutscene about it or anything like that, or just an exposition dump about it. The game just does a very good job of presenting its lore through just the designs and the different items you find related to those people in it. And it's a class of its own. Dark Souls 1 is really good. I'll bump it up above Sekiro, but it's really good. Sekiro has a more direct story. I think the combat is the best FromSoft has ever made, with the parry and attack system. That said, I do think it's a bit too hard at times until you've learned to really master that system. And it probably is my least favorite actual story that FromSoft has told, even though it's a direct story. But it's really good. I'd recommend playing it. It's a fantastic game, especially if you're into like Japanese samurai and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. Bloodborne, my favorite aesthetic in gaming. I mean, like flat out, chat, there's a reason why I look like this, right? Like this is Bloodborne's aesthetic to a fucking T, right? You know, I have a little bit more color because for some reason they did my jacket in like a purple instead of the black I requested, probably because it stands out more than that way for a VTuber. But yeah, no, I love Bloodborne. Oh, did you know I have a body? Oh, hi. Hi, how are you? You know I have feet too. Hi. Yeah, I have a body. Did you not know I had a body? Yeah, that's crazy. When VTubers say just get a half body because it's what most people know about, this proves it. This proves it. Glow's been here for over a year and she didn't even know I had little boots. Yeah, I got cute little boots. My arms are kind of stiff and don't move a whole lot, which is why we generally stay under at this point. That's surprising. I mean, where'd you think Lana got the stuff for making my Minecraft thing? I literally just sent her the thing of the model. Yeah, but yeah, Bloodborne. Aesthetically, it is my jam. I love the Gothic Victorian era type stuff. My horns are literally from Vicar Amelia. They're yanked straight from her. They're the exact design. It was the inspiration for my horns. That said, Vicar Amelia is not a Kieran. I am. But those were the horns that I was like, those are the ones I want. Yeah. Bloodborne's combat is, well, I think Sekiro's is the best in the series. Bloodborne's is the most ash-coated, where if you get hit, you can hit them back to heal. You don't have a roll in the same way. If you're in combat, you just do like quick step dodges while you stay in range and can completely eviscerate their health bar. I love it. I love Bloodborne. If Bloodborne was on a modern system with 60 FPS, it would probably be the top game here. But because it's not, it is number 5. It is in my top 5 though. And then we got Final Fantasy VIII. This is, I mean, technically my second favorite JRPG of all time. Expedition 33 is a French RPG. But Final Fantasy VIII has one of my favorite casts overall. I love Renoa. I love Squall. Quistis is awesome. Selphie is literally the embodiment of like the perfect fun character. Love her so much. I love the weapon system. I enjoyed the junk system. It has the best minigame in all of gaming with Triple Triad in the card game. It's so good. Can't speak highly enough about it. Dark Souls 3. our number 3 spot. I didn't know Dark Souls 3 was going to be this high for this year. It has some of my favorite boss encounters in any game ever. It has the most polished Souls combat until Elden Ring. Elden Ring is a little bit more polished, but again, the open world is the detractor for me. It has Abyss Watchers, it has Demon Princes, it has Gale in it, it has Midir in it. There's so many good enemies. I love a lot of the areas. It still has the interconnected world, even if it does have a hub area in the shrine in the way Demon Souls does. You can, after the first teleport out, you can basically stay inside the world the whole time if you wanted to speed run through it and not have to return back to Firelink. Yeah, super good game. Expedition 33 is your game of the year for TGA, for the Golden Joystick Awards, for pretty much every award show that's come out. I think they all picked Expedition 33. I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't played it. It is a modern masterpiece, though, I think. Especially if you love or even mildly enjoy JRPGs. I think the combat is really good. I think the story is really good. I think the overworld is really good. The nostalgia is so big if you've grew up on JRPGs at all. Well worth the play. I think it's well worth the play. Especially it goes on sale all the time. I think it's on sale right now for like $40. Super good deal. And then it's on this list today because I did play it this year because of the Steam version, but my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VI, is in the number 1 spot. It is my favorite cast of characters in any media ever created. I don't think it's even close. I don't think anything else even comes close for me. Final Fantasy VIII, I enjoy the combat a little bit more, so I'm always kind of waffling between them as my favorite game. But character-wise, world-wise, it's Final Fantasy VI, hands down. Kafka is the greatest villain in most of media as well. I can't think of anything that comes over that. So that's it, guys. That's our tier list for. That's our custom tier list for all we played in 2025. We played 10. We played 55 games. Yeah, we played 55 games. We did 55 games. We did, what was it, 29 more than the previous year. We did a lot of fun stuff, a lot of fun streams. I was going to play Silksong, but I think this tier list, I think I talked a lot. We're going on almost 3 hours. I don't know that I'm going to actually play a game tonight. I did not expect to get it so into this tier list, but I think we made some good decisions. We played a lot of games this year. Next year, we got to beat that number. We got to pump those numbers up. So I'm thinking like 60 games, maybe? Let's see what is on my backlog. What is left on my incomplete? Closed collab games, closed completed games. I have 28 on my incomplete list for Steam. That said, BG3 is on that list, so realistically 27 because I'm going to finish that one at some point. And then I think I have 11 Switch games and 1 PS5 game, so I think we have... So what, 39? I think we have 40 games right now to play next year, currently bought. So that means we're going to have to find 20 new games to buy next year. We get to buy 20 games next year. Assuming I have money, obviously, but we have space to try to make 20 games happen next year. If you have any suggestions for ones that you would like seeing played, you can obviously drop them in the Discord, !Discord, and recommend games to play in the games channel. Otherwise, we'll just keep working through our backlog. I do want to pick up Metroid Prime 4, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Bravely Default Flying Fairy Remaster at some point. I'm sure there's like some games coming out I'm not remembering. We just watched TGA. A lot of stuff got announced. Tomb Raider, that's one. But I think that's it. I think that's it for tonight. I don't think we're going to game tonight, because I don't really want to play, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of Silksong at most. I think we'll just do, maybe we do Silksong tomorrow instead of Minecraft. Yeah, I think we can do that, maybe. Or maybe we do like 2 hours of Silksong, 2 hours of Minecraft tomorrow. I do want to touch on the fact, I think going into the new year, I think we're going to move back down to 5 streams a week. I think I'm going to take Tuesdays and Fridays off the stream schedule. I'm not going to be raiding anymore. We'll have collab stuff we can do on those days, but I think that'll be pickup days. I don't think I'm going to just stream those days. So, like, if people want to play games on those days, I may play stuff offline. I may stream stuff with them those days, but I think those will just kind of be my freestanding days if people want to do stuff. Because it's been really hard to collab with people at times this year because I've just been so busy trying to play so many games. So yeah, let's find someone to raid on out to. Let's see about finding anyone doing something fun. Renee's doing Stick of Truth. Ramen Chan's doing Hunt Showdown. Cheese was just doing Silksong. Oh, he's at the end though. I see him fighting that thing Glow was fighting the other day. I don't really want to pop in there and have stuff ruined for anyone. I don't see anyone in the same category I'm following doing stuff, so I guess maybe do I need to find more people I can raid out to, chat. I don't ever have enough people who are playing it when I'm trying to raid out. Everyone kind of goes before me. Does anyone have anyone they want to raid? If not, I think we'll do Rainy and Stick of Truth. I just feel bad because I feel like I raid them quite a bit. My friend Snacks and Spells have lied. If you're after someone to raid, Snacks and Spells. Let's see. Search Snacks and Spells. Oh, do an Oblivion remaster. We could do that. Yeah, we can raid into them. We can do Snacks and Spells. That's fun. That's fun. We haven't seen much Oblivion remaster. I actually don't like Oblivion. I want to be very clear. I don't dislike Oblivion. Okay, I played the ever-loving fuck out of Morrowind, and then when Oblivion came out, I just wasn't feeling it. I love Skyrim. I love Morrowind. In theory, I like Oblivion. I just didn't like it when it originally came out because I was so burnt out, I think. So we're going to raid on out to them. Maybe we put it on the list. Whenever I get a new GPU eventually, we'll play Oblivion because I saw how it almost burnt down Glow's house when she tried to play it, so I haven't given it a shot. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow with a game. Technically, it's supposed to be Minecraft, but we didn't play Silksong tonight, so maybe we play Silksong. Have a good night. Bye. Enjoy.